Hello, friends. It's John Klein III with episode 85 of Shadow and Flame of Magic, the podcast. And today we're going to review the Marvels. So let's get to it. And today, for returning for a ninth time, is Walker D. World.
Yay, I'm back.
And so we just saw the movie. We saw the 10:50 screening on Sunday at 10:50, and we had the complete theater to ourselves, which when my lovely wife bought the tickets, we showed it was quite a few seats were packed yesterday, but either they didn't show up or they went to a different movie, which I know Trolls 3 came out and the Hunger Games prequel came out. You saw Trolls 3, you liked it?
Yeah,
Which one you like better, the Marvels or Trolls 3?
Marvels.
Nice. And so we both got a real kick out of the mid-credit scene, but we're going to talk about that later. Let's talk about the movie first. But also, I would give people a heads up because I saw a headline that was like, there's a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene, but there is not a post-credit scene. So spoilers now, but all you hear is the cats like making a meow sound, and so that was highly disappointing. So once you see the mid-credit scene, you talk about how amazing it is, just walk out of the theater. And so I know I already said spoilers, but without giving spoilers, you liked the movie, you loved it. What's your opinion on it?
I loved it.
Nice. I really liked it too. I know like bros are not loving the movie, and I've heard some dedicated comic book fans have been like, well, it loses a step in the middle or whatever, but I enjoyed it the entire time through. Like I like the cast. We have Captain Marvel, we have Miss Marvel, and Monica Rambeau, who Miss Marvel Kamala Khan tries to keep giving her code names throughout, and Spectrum got mentioned, which I was like, hey, but they never do set on one, and she's insistent on not getting one. But I thought for sure it meant like by the time the movie ended, she was going to be like, it's me, Photon. But they never go that route. Do you have any favorite scenes that stand out besides the post-credit scene?
Maybe, when the Marvels were together and they were fighting the boss.
Yeah, that was a pretty great end boss fight. I liked as well. So the movie starts off with Kamala. Pretty much all three of the Marvels are doing their own thing. Captain Marvel is doing some cleanup on the Kree homeworlds, or the Kree Empire. Captain Rambeau is working in space. We're led to believe that Monica and Carol have not talked at all. And then Kamala Khan says, enjoying your life in school. Oh, yeah, the movie starts off with that cool animated feature or segment. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So a little holdover from Miss Marvel's TV show. And then Monica and Carol both touch something, like a weird gateway, and they start swapping positions whenever they use their powers. Which I liked how by the time it happened the third time, Monica's like, hey, it's whenever we use your powers, let's stop doing this. Oh, and Nick Fury's in it.
Uh-huh.
There was 0 references to Secret Invasion as far as I could tell. Like, I didn't feel like anything was missing out. Do you have any strong Secret Invasion thoughts?
The last episode was good. The last episode was good because it was the last episode. You know why? Because someone hated that episode, and I also hate that TV series.
We just started Loki, season 2, episode 1, and so far it's an interesting start, but I am reminded, like, I have not watched Secret Invasion, so I might have to get back to it. But
Maybe.
And then last night we saw the Marvel Legends with all 3 of the Marvels cast, and I was like, okay, this is a good recap. It's here, and then they do that. Kamala goes and they all go into space. They finally like catch up. And so Monica and Kamala are in space, and then Carol catches up, and then so if they use their powers, they just swap places.
Mm.
And we're an hour after watching the movie, but now I'm trying to think of what happened exactly after that. Because usually before we do a recording, like I have the benefit of like looking at like a Wikipedia plot summary. But they go into space, they fight the villain whose name escapes me. They didn't say it too often. The Kree homeworld hate Carol because she killed the Supreme Intelligence, which was pretty cool to see the Supreme Intelligence. Like, I mean, he's a goofy, 70s character where he's just a big green head in a tube, like Zordon. But you only see him for that 1 minute, and then, Carol kills him, essentially. So, and then she's been not coming back to Earth because she wants to,
protect her family because, they call it the Destroyer.
Yeah, the Destroyer or the Annihilator.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Which is a weird word to keep hearing over and over again, but it's like, oh yeah. Monica gets a cool new costume. Like she starts off wearing what do they call it? Because it was Shield, and then they have Sword, and I feel like this was a new one, like Strike or something. And Monica, and they destroy Kamala's home, and we see a lot of Kamala's family. And they were pretty fun, her parents and brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I know her father got into some legal issues, and so I know there was talk of, like, are they going to edit around the movie? But as far as I can tell, they didn't try to hide him at all. Like, he's definitely there. Her mother's very charming. So the Kree plan is to... Their home planet Hala has been destroyed ever since Supreme Intelligence is dead. So the lady is trying to create 3 things. The air's bad, they have 0 water, and they don't have a sun anymore. Their sun's dying. So the movie starts with them opening up a portal or a time gate to a planet that has plenty of air. And then they go to a water planet, Atuna maybe? Atilia? Something. It starts with an A. Mm-hmm. And this planet's like 95% water. But what else do they do at that planet? How do they talk?
They seem like, what's this podcast? Or something like that. Yeah, what's the podcast?
That was your singing voice?
Yeah, okay. I don't have to sing.
Yeah. But my wife and I, when we worked in at the university together... she started this thing called singing all Singing Fridays, and so I was like, "Hey, it's all Singing Fridays, but the planet." And because I did hear I heard 3 spoilers leading up to the movie that there was something to pay attention to during the mid-credit sequence, but on a monitor screen, there was a singing moment that was underwhelming, and then I'm trying to remember what the 3rd spoiler was. Anyway, so Monica got a new costume, and it starts off being designed off of what the Space Sword agency's uniforms, but then it becomes a lot more defined as her uniform. But it turns out Carol's a princess married to the prince on this water planet. And they all sing, so we get a little Brie Larson singing moment, which was fun. Mm-hmm. And then the prince, who's bilingual, so he can talk to people without having to sing, which is like, all right. It would have been cute if everyone was just like, now we're doing a podcast.
That should just be the title scene. Yeah, you should just do it.
And so they redesigned everyone, and all the costumes look pretty cool. I like how Captain Marvel's uniform gets a little more simplistic. Like it looks like black pants and like a cool Captain Marvel long sleeve shirt. Where I was like, well, this is casual. Kamala gets a new costume that's a lot more red. The villain finds Kamala's gauntlet pair that now escaping me what they call that wrist thing.
No, it's called like Quantum Realm. band.
Yeah, it's a cosmic band.
Cosmic.
But then they were calling it whatever, like whatever the jewel part of it is considered. But yeah, it's like a bracelet. Which I was like, oh, this is going to lead to a Kazar moment, but it didn't. And so they open up a portal. They start taking this planet's water. And then they are like, well, we need a new sun. And that's what brings them to Earth. And as soon as they go to Earth, I'm like, well, we're going to need to see the Avengers. Because how else do you explain the planetary destruction without, the planet's heroes banding together? But all in all, I think it was like an hour threat level, probably in the real world scenario. So by the time the heroes were reunited or assembled, if you would, they, the threat would have been over. And I'm trying to think of, and the movie did a pretty good job of being humorous and action packed. Mm-hmm. We got that great montage where they're all trying to learn about swapping positions and what they can and can't do when they swap powers, or not swap powers, but swap positions. Mm-hmm. And and they only swap when they both use their powers, or when all trio of them use their powers. So that explains why every so often they can still use their powers. I'm like, and then Kamala is not using it at the time. And so then there's a rip in space and time where Monica's like, I'm going to fix this now. And then she fixes it. And before we see where she ends up, we get a fun... And so the Skrulls were trying to make peace with the Kree so they can maybe not be refugees. And that whole plan falls apart. And so I was like, well, maybe this is a reference to Secret Invasion. But also seems like it was not. Like, it was just, the Skrulls are refugees wherever they go. And they were going to make a home. I forget why I was leading with that. Yeah, I'm not sure. And so the whole thread's done. And then we get... right, I'm sorry. That's where I was leading. And so I was leading to the guest stars of the movie. And so major spoilers, right? We're just going to go crazy with spoilers now. So Valkyrie, King of Asgard, shows up and takes all the Skrulls home. Or to New Asgard, I imagine. And then the movie ends with Kate Bishop, played by Haley Steinfeld, which was awesome. And Kamala tries to do her best Nick Fury impression, but it fails. But also, it's very cute. So for Young Avengers, we now have Kamala Khan, we have Kate Bishop, we have Wanda's two kids, Wiccan and Speed.
Also fake.
Yeah, Walker's like, they're fake, but I'm like, well, they're real to her, which is so funny because my wife was just talking, because we were watching the Monica Legends, and my wife was just like, oh yeah, her fake kids. Or I'm like, well, they're real to her. And then it was just funny, like 12 hours later, Walker saying the same thing. And then we have Patriot being seen in the Falcon Winter Soldier, which I can only imagine they'll recast. Because... unless that kid blows up, and then there's Cassie from Ant-Man 3. And I want to say that's pretty much the cast.
They also need a new Iron Man and a new
Captain Iron Lad, yeah.
Also, a new Captain America.
Well, that's who Patriot would be.
Oh, okay.
But Young Avengers is its own proper team, too. And then, the whole time we were driving home, I was like, well, let me look up Phase 6. And I guess we're apparently still in Phase 5. Because we still got, the Echo TV series, Deadpool 3. I guess they're saying Deadpool 3 be part of Phase 6. But I was like, man, what are they leading up to? And which might explain why there wasn't a post-credit scene, because there's nothing to lead off to. So now we're just going to be in this weird limbo. Which, speaking of limbo... Because I was like, well, maybe she'd be in an Ilyana Rasputina limbo. But I was like, well, they can't do that. But Monica wakes up and sees her mother, and also
She sees Beast from X-Men. It's gotta be a new X-Men movie. It's gotta be about that.
and then Beast is voiced by Kelsey Grammer, and I couldn't tell if he was computer generated. If not, he's in a great makeup scene. But poor Monica's mother, whose name escapes me right now. But we see the second alternate version of her as we saw her in Doctor Strange Into the Madness of the Multiverse. But she doesn't recognize her daughter because I guess in this universe she doesn't have one. But Beast makes a reference, and this was the spoiler I saw where there was a screen behind Monica's head with an X in the circle in the corner. And I was like, guys, there it is, the X. And then we hear Kelsey Grammer's voice. And I'm like, wait, is no one talking about the Beast cameo? And they legit, like, they stand in front of a giant door that makes the X branding on it. He makes a reference to Xavier. And then Monica's mother stands up, takes off the blanket she was wearing. And she's legit wearing the binary uniform that all X-Men fans would love. You know, a lot more, less sexualized, of course. But the X-Men, or at least a version of the X-Men, are in an alternate timeline. Which, I mean, casting Kelsey Grammer, who I think was a perfect Beast. And if they've been to make a computer-generated one, and then just have him be voiced by Kelsey Grammer, fine with me. Because how else would they do it? Mm-hmm. But if he was just in makeup, I mean, then that was a great... Because he didn't stand out. I mean, he's very blue. But he wasn't like cartoon blue. Like, he just looked like a blue mutant. And so we don't know what this means for the X-Men. Are they the Fox X-Men? Are they just the MCU X-Men? Because this is how you would explain where the X-Men have been this whole time. But then how do you explain all the mutants showing up? I mean, that's going to be a story beat for them. But, because I know people are talking about superhero fatigue, but I'm like, is it superhero fatigue? Or is it just people want more from these projects? I don't know, are you tired of all these superhero movies?
Kinda.
Oh, really?
No, kinda, no.
But are you okay with waiting a while before we get the next one?
So...
I mean, are you excited about the X-Men showing up?
Yes.
Who would you want... If you could make a 7-member X-Men team, who do you want to be the first X-Men team in the MCU?
Wolverine.
Sure.
Charles.
Sure.
Kitty Pryde.
Sure. I mean, of course.
Lockheed.
Oh, boy.
Mazik.
Oh, you're getting some ice cream after this.
Who could be next?
2 more. Finish strong.
Phoenix.
Sure.
I want to keep Blydes.
Oh, okay. It's in on a character.
Beast.
Oh, and Beast. Well, that makes sense, right? Beast and Xavier should be there. I mean, and just to round out, I will go Scott and Emma, Cyclops and White Queen, and I will want Nightcrawler in there. But if we're going to do 10 members, I think that's a pretty great start. Mm-hmm. And if you don't want to count Lockheed...
I want to count Lockheed.
I mean, I want to count Lockheed too, but if you want to go Kate Pryde and Lockheed... Oh, I thought I was about to write... Oh, Storm. I don't think we said Storm.
Storm.
I mean, you need to have... And so, yeah, okay. 10 characters and just go from there. Mm-hmm. And then maybe something opens up the portal and all the mutants just teleport across or something. But I say they should just start brand new. And Beast, I'm fine with. Maybe you do cast someone else to be young Beast for a flashback scene to the 05, but I'm completely fine with young Beast. And Kitty Pryde will be just, maybe in her 20s. Like, you imagine you want someone more like Haley Steinfeld age. And if you can get Patrick Stewart back as Xavier, I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then just cast everyone else young.
Yep.
And then Deadpool 3 be the last time we see Hugh Jackman as... Maybe have Deadpool 3 have a moment where like the movie ends with Deadpool and Wolverine going through a portal or something, and then it's Deadpool still, but whoever is the new Wolverine is now in the MCU, and you show the Young Avengers or something. Like, like some type of handoff, like, hey everyone, this is the team. This is X-Men. But Walker wanted to start the whole podcast with like, X-Men are coming. Where I'm like, heck yeah. But I'm like, no, let's give the Marvels its proper due. And so, in Phase 6 had the Fantastic Four. They had the 2 Avengers movies. I feel like they're... and Blade. And so, those are nowhere near ready to be made. I heard Pedro Pascal was cast as Reed Richards. He was the dad character in We Will Be Heroes. But now I'm hearing that he's not officially cast, so I'm like, well, this is weird. But I do like the idea of an older Reed Richards, so that if you ever got Robert Downey Jr. back as Iron Man, then he won't look like a kid next to him. So, you get that immediate respect. But I'm like, does Pedro Pascal sign on for 10 movies? I mean, because you'll want Reed Richards in a bunch of movies, I imagine. At least 2 Avengers movies. So then you get Fantastic Four, 2 Avengers movies. That's already 3. So, like, we want to do it. Though I still hope that they just get John Krasinski back. Because he was a great Reed Richards in Doctor Strange. And why cast him for that one thing? I mean, I know the dream would be John Krasinski and Emily Blunt for, Reed and Sue. And I love that idea. But if you don't go Emily, then, at least keep John Krasinski. Oh, what trailers were there before this? There was that Fall Guy movie with the Gauze and Emily Blunt. Mm-hmm. And that looked fun. I like the Gauze doing more comedy action movies. I lean into that. He's had his 10 years of dramatic work. I think he can now have some fun. I'm trying to think of other...
Well, I thought he did the Barbie movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he did the Barbie movie, so he's having a fun career moment right now.
Yep.
I feel like there was another movie that we were like, oh yeah, this would be fun to watch. But now nothing. That was the big takeaway, I guess. Mm-hmm. But it was great to see the Binary uniform, especially as I'm reviewing Binary comics right now. So I'm like, hey, plenty of Binary. That's a great uniform. Anything else about the Marvels?
X-Men.
Yeah, that's the big takeaway.
Yeah.
And what it could mean.
It could be like a...
I mean, I guess there's a part of me that's like, well, it's also got Angel, Iceman, and... Oh, no, you said Phoenix, so Jean Grey. So, yeah. So, 11 characters? Mm-hmm. Or 12 characters?
Oh, wait, 13 characters. 14 because you added...
Yeah, you add Lockheed back.
Wait, no, I thought Lockheed was 4th.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, though, and then I added those 2, so now we got 12 characters. And I guess we want Rogue.
That means...
Because hopefully Brie Larson's contract allows one movie where... Though I would love to get a X-Men Evolution Rogue in a movie first. And then... whatever reason, like maybe Carol gets knocked out, Rogue gets knocked out, and Rogue falls on top of Carol and their hands touch, and that's how she gets the Carol Danvers powers. And then that way also she's not a villain in it. And it's like, oops, I'm sorry. And then Carol's like, I lost my memories again. Maybe not do that second part. Because it's not like these movies we're going to get 20 movies before Rogue can get redeemed. Like, we need Rogue to be a hero pretty much from the beginning and then go forward. Mm-hmm. Or it just needs to be in a way where Carol's not left comatose and then with nothing to do to redeem her. So that's just like the real world scenario. Like, yeah, it'd be nice if we got 20. Like, it'd be nice if all these X-Men characters get signed on for 20 movies and do like a cool TV series.
That's cool. What? Wait, are you talking about the one winters?
The Avengers?
Like the young.
Oh, Young Avengers.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to show up to a movie at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Which I imagine they don't want to tip their hands about the Marvels, but oh yeah, and they call themselves the Marvels in the movie quite a few times, and that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
When Kamala talked about a team, I thought for sure the next scene was going to be her fighting crime in New Jersey, and then Carol was just going to show up to like punch a dude and be like, "Oh yeah," because the movie ends with Carol reuniting a son, and so I'm like, well, now what does Carol do? You can only keep her for big universe shattering movies, but I'm like, well, if that's all it is, because like honestly, we get like 4 Marvel movies a year, so it's not like we really had to worry about depowering Carol. Mm-hmm. So I think if Rogue took half her powers, clearly Carol will be fine. Like she can use the power dampening. But I thought the movie was great all the way through. At no point did I feel sleepy or I got lost or lost interest. Maybe one criticism of the movie I would say is that all the cats got way too much attention, but then they made them a pivotal plot point because they run out of life vests or life rafts, and my wife was like, oh, they didn't learn anything from the Titanic. And it was like, yeah, I guess not. But the cats were shown to be able to eat Kree people and spit them right back out, and so that paid off. Mm-hmm. And even talk about it right now, like it's barely 3 minutes of the movie, so it's fine. You have anything negative you want to say about the movie?
No.
I thought it was good. I thought it wasn't too long. It was a fast. I don't know how long it is. Like I imagine it's 2 hours because no movies are less than 2 hours.
So the FNAF movie, it's 1 hour and 47 minutes.
Yeah, Walker loves the FNAF movie. Have you seen it on Peacock ever since?
Only one time.
Okay. I mean, you can watch it endless amount of times.
Yeah.
I do gotta say, when I took Walker and his 2 best friends, shout outs to Hezra and Bodhi, I did apparently fall asleep in the first time I watched it at Peacock. And so I was like, man, for a movie called Five Nights at Freddy's, barely any animatronics. I'm like, oh, I must have slept through 20 to 30 minutes of this movie, as there's a lot of animatronics in that movie. So apologies to the FNAF community.
Because they have Silent Freddy's, that is a secret Easter egg. It's Sparky, a myth in FNAF. So much more.
Yes. So I will say get to the movies, watch it, enjoy it. And at one point that end sequence is going to get leaked or put on YouTube, and I'm going to watch that 1 billion times. 1 billion times. Let's see, you have a birthday coming up. Anything you want to promote that people can watch at the YouTube channel Walker D World?
I'm going to make my own FNAF movie. Yeah.
Who's going to be the cast of the FNAF movie you're thinking about?
3 people. Yeah. Me, Robux, and me. That's actually 4 people.
I meant the cast of characters.
Oh, Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, Freddy, Springtrap, Spring Bonnie. Yeah.
Who are going to be the human characters?
Luigi, Mario.
Nice. So it's going to be a little...
Actually, the police officers.
Yeah, which I don't think you've cast that character, have you?
What?
You haven't cast him yet?
Well, I am going to be Cop 1.
No, but I mean, like, of the plushies you're going to use to make your movie, you haven't picked which 2 plushies are going to be Cop 1 and 2?
Well, Do you remember like my parkway to?
Oh yeah. The park ranger from Glacier Park.
And one of my friends is gonna bring a puppet, and he's gonna be playing that puppet.
Oh, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So ideally, if you get the birthday presents you want, you can make this movie around December 16, 17.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting. Anything else you got on your channel that you're gonna do?
Not really.
Okay.
Really some stuff.
But you're right, really putting all the time in this FNAF thing. You've made like 3 different sets. It's been pretty impressive seeing, and you have a whole script written too.
Yeah. It's like one this week over here. Said there.
Yeah, we're cleaning this weekend we're hosting Thanksgiving, and so my podcast studio, which is the guest bedroom, is now also the FNAF studio as well. So we're getting ready for Christmas.
Oh, this light's cool. Here's the States.
I think it's behind the fan. But anyway, so that's what is coming to Walker D World. And I want to say thank you, Walker D, for being a guest 9 times. And thank you for coming to the movie with me and your mother.
You're welcome.
And and I guess you can, coming up this week, I think no new comics. Hopefully I record on Monday. I am working tonight, Sunday, and then through Wednesday. And so... But last week I was able to record on Tuesday and Wednesday nights, so without being too exhausted the next day. So I guess I'm trying to get my brain and body like, hey, I think I can do everything. So hopefully I can record tomorrow night, because I do like a Monday recording. And so I got that, and I got a Marvel's tie-in comic I want to do, and then I want to finish Inferno, then we can just do 2 episode weeks for a while. And then knowing Deadpool is coming out next year, when packing for a special event I want to do in January, I saw a bunch of Deadpool comics. So I was like, oh yeah, we can easily pick 4 Deadpool comics, no problems.
You should also do Wolverine stuff,
For Deadpool 3.
Yeah, like maybe the first comic book of Wolverine.
Yeah, I could do that. That's a great idea. Thank you for the recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we got coming up this week. With X-Men 97, we were talking about it'd be fun to do each episode review. And just being like a live commentary, being like, oh, maybe Kitty would be in this scene. Maybe Kate would be in this scene. Because I know Kalash is supposed to get one, so hopefully we can at least get Ilyana Rasputina appearance. But I doubt Kate probably be in any of these.
Let's hope.
But yeah, let's hope. It'd be nice. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening. If you go to check out Walker D World, he will love a subscribe. And you can follow me on YouTube at Jacko SII, Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky. And then you can follow the podcast at SNFWM on both Twitter and Instagram. And if you just rate the podcast on whatever program you're listening to, we really appreciate it. And until next time when I talk at you. Bye.
Bye.